Hello, Will here, and today we are here with Gran Turismo with the 3 daily races of this week. And the first one you can see that we're starting on with is Tsukuba, which is the one make race of the week. In the I completely forgotten if this is actually a I think it's a Honda. I know it's like an S660 something. I don't know. I didn't really recall the name. But I think it's some kind of little Honda. So, yeah, this race itself, yeah, probably not the most exciting race for people. But, you know, we've got to get it out of the way if I'm doing all 3 races for the day or for the week. And as you can see now, in the last video, you saw that my name at one point was Neon Eye, and at other points it was Will Josm. But from now on, it's going to be permanently Neon Eye, because as I explained in the last video, is that basically I changed it because the PlayStation allowed you to change your name for free. And you can see in this corner, all of a sudden, you know, 8th, 9th, and I get sandwiched a little bit and come out in 9th. So, in this week, this week's races, I do think I had a bit of a better week. I had a bit of a good week. Not the most amazing week, granted, but a much better week than last time. And you'll see that obviously throughout the video. So at the end of the first lap, we are basically in 9th, sort of about to go to 10th, on the road to 10th with this German. C probably takes over, but he goes wide. I take the inside line and reclaim 9th place. I'm gonna be able to now Oilton 444. You'll see later on in the race do something which at that point I was like wondering why did he do what he did. And going back through it, as you can see, someone went off there. I think it was a Spanish driver. Obviously he completely buggered up on the corners. But going back to Oilton 444, you'll see later on in the race that he'll go off all of a sudden, and at that point I didn't know why he went off. I had no idea. But going back through the replay, I did find out that he did make a mistake. But it just, at that point, it just looked like something really. The guy was just doing something really weird for some reason. I don't know why. But you can see now we're up into 8th, so we've managed to gain a position. Mainly because obviously because that Spanish driver going off. So we're in this second lap in 8th place. So we've already raised, I think it's 2 positions. Something like that, 2 or 3 positions I think we've already raised. So, making progress. We're getting out of the first corner. No dramas, no nothing yet. Still seems to be going quite well. So not bad. Catching up with another Brit and Oilton 444. So, we sort of keeping our little group. And yeah, unfortunately this race itself is not the most eventful race, and it's probably not the most fun race to watch, because you're driving around in little slow cars. I'm driving a little black crap box basically. But hey, I still don't know what it means by the car numbers. How each car number is separately assigned to you. But you see I'm car 3, so if it is to do driver racing, which and there you can see what's on there. A Portuguese guy did go off, so now I'm up in 7th. So I'm slowly catching up to what my car number is supposed to be, which is 3. I'm catching up, slowly climbing my way up. Here's a little S section. Going up into the tight left-hander. And no drama. Lovely. Come over here. And you can see Oilton 444 has just suddenly veered off to the right. Now at that point I had no idea, because I was just coming around the corner at that point, and I just saw this guy just go randomly going off to the right. I'm like, where the hell is he going? But if going back through the replay, I watched the replay again through his perspective. Unfortunately, what happened was just basically he clipped the glass. What the hell am I on about? The grass. Unfortunately, he just basically it skinned him out. It turned him, it sharply turned to the right, and he just went off basically. Unfortunately, so mistake on his part. So now we've raced up to 6. This is lap 4. Again, I don't have all the information on the screen because of the way I do the videos. So I've kind of guess on what lap I'm on. Yeah, I think it's lap 4. It's either lap 4 or 5. Looking at time down below, I'm thinking it's probably about lap. Actually, it might be lap 5 actually. Because lucky enough, due to this being a slow race, but lucky enough to this time round, this race is only about 8 minutes, something like that roughly. So you know, it's not like last week's daily race C where it was kind of a slowish race. Yeah, it was like almost 20 minutes. It's like it just dragged on and on and on. But unfortunately, with this race, I don't raise any more positions. And basically, I'm in 6th, and that's where I stay. I stay in 6th. But you never know. Something else might end up happening in the race. Despite the fact of me saying that it's not the most eventful race. But you never know. Something silly, we might spot something silly from one of the back markers. You never know. Now, I believe this may be the last lap. If this is not the last lap, it's definitely the 5th lap. But I do believe this is the last lap. And yeah, there's not really much else to really say about this race. Later on in the video, you will see the other races, and there will be points in that race where I'll bring something up. I'll mention it at that point as well, which then I'll also actually go into a bit more detail at the end of the video to give you my thoughts, as well as maybe to give you an option to see, and maybe for you to give me your thoughts on it, because I give my thoughts and I give my kind of like analysis on the situation. But it'd be interesting to see your thoughts as well on what you think to my thoughts on the situation of what happened there. But I'll point them out when we get to them. I think we're just coming to the last corner now. Coming up to the finishing line, and we take 6th place. So, not too bad. Managed to come in a few positions there. Mostly because of people fucking up, but hey, I'll take it. Better to come near enough to last, really, isn't it? So that's the end of the first race. That's the end of Tsukuba, or race A. So we're going to now move on to the next race. Alright, here we are with this week's race C. We are at Suzuka. And as you see, I qualified in 6th place. Not too shabby. I am using the Group 2 Lexus, or I think it's the AU Toms, something or other. It's got an oddish name going on with it. But as you can see, I'm qualified in 6th place. And car 13. So I'm already higher than my car number. And already some people have gone off. And where do I get to? I climb up now into 3rd place. First corner, I managed to climb up basically from 6th to 3rd. And you can see instant karma. It's like I get to positions. Let's go off the track. You'll see that happen a couple of times, unfortunately, on this track. I mean, it wasn't probably my most smoothest racing. There were a couple of times where I do sort of go a little bit wide. Never spun out or anything majorly bad like that, but go a bit wide on a couple of the corners, unfortunately. Especially with like the last couple of laps, because the points will class certain laps where there's obviously tyre wear, and the tyres are obviously starting to go a bit like, yeah, they're getting a bit bad. We're just coming at the hairpin now, still holding on to 3rd place. I think that's the Italian flag. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the Italian flag in the Ray Briggs NSX behind me. And now coming into Spoons. Again, I go wide, but I think I'm not going to suddenly go back on, because and then the guy in the motor goes wide, and I come back on the fourth, and then instantly taken over by the German, who was also in the motor. So, sort of lost 2 positions, could have possibly lost 3 positions, but managed to gain 1 position back because one guy also went right. So, now coming to the last chicane for the last corner. So we're going to end the first lap in 5th place. So all in all, by the end of the first lap I've gained 1 position. Huzzah! I'm strong straight, gone inside the German, and do I get the pass? Yes I do. So going into the S section, gain a position and back up at the 4th. So this race, my opinion on this race, a much better race than one of my definitely more of my better races, despite the couple of mistakes that I make during the race. Still one of my better races. I'm much better than my first race I did in this track, but it's just like trying to get qualifying time in, just seeing what the track was like and seeing what kind of tyre strategy should I use. Should I use the mediums or should I use hards? Find out when the good time in the pit was, and this, that, and the other. Because that race went terrible. But this race, well, is going, and I will say, does go much better. Going around along the right hand. Now coming up the spoons. Do I stay on track, or do I go off again? Nope, I stay on track. Good for me. And now got the Spanish guy in 5th. Coming up to the follow through. I don't know if this corner has a name. I just got to follow through because it's just a very sort of bit like from the Top Gear track where it's just a very fast short left-hander. But no, so by the end of the lap 2, we've gained another position and got up into our position of 4th place. So I've still got the Italian in front of me, and I got a Spanish driver behind me. I didn't quite catch his name there. I still can't catch his name. All I know is that he is a Spanish. That's all I know. Now coming to that section again, do I do this a little bit better? I think a bit smoother than the last time. And definitely smoother than the first time. So, carrying on. I do get stuck in. I do sort of get into this place for a wee bit of time into 4th place. But it's going off a little bit there, but lucky enough there's nothing too major. But once again, in the first time I did the race, trying to work out what tyres I should use. I think the first race I did do it in hard tyres to see what it was like anyway. So like getting the tyres that lasted a little bit longer, but evidently it's actually a little bit slower. And in this race I go for mediums, then pit, and then I go for mediums again. So I do basically a 1-stop medium tyre strategy. Which, to be honest with you, unless you're able to do this as a no stop. Oh, and you can if you just saw there in the background, the Spanish guy just goes off. Obviously he must have clipped the grass coming out of spoons and walked and he lost it. Now I do think you can do this race on a no-stop strategy. But obviously to do that you do need to do it with the hard tyres and not the mediums. The mediums will not last for that. So I do believe you need to do it on the harder tyres. But though unfortunately it is that on the harder tyre you are a little bit slower, and then when you get near to the end of the race, the last couple of laps on the hard tyre with a potential no-stop strategy, your car is going to be struggling like hell to get around, because obviously the tyres are just going to be worn so much. So though a no-stop is possible, or probably possible, it is recommended that you at least do a 1-stop, which is probably better for you to do it as a medium, pit, mediums. That's probably what your best bet is, because you don't need to refuel. That's one thing you don't need to worry about in this race, is to refuel. Is you only pit just to change your tyres, and that's that. So we are now on lap, no clue. This might be 4th lap or 5th lap. I think this might be. I think this is the 4th lap, because I'll know when it's the 5th lap, because I'll actually be not actually that far behind the Italian. So I think this may be the 4th lap. Now, again, I don't have the information on screen because obviously, because of the way I'm doing the video, so it's kind of like I have to kind of guess where I am. So that could be a good nice little game. Try and guess which lap I'm on, or try and guess when it is my last lap. And if you're wrong, you have to take a drink, or whatever. But you can see, you got quite a bit of space behind me, so I don't have to worry about an attack from the rear at any point too soon. But unfortunately, also got quite a bit of space in front of me as well, so I can't really go like, oh, I can't go and attack on anyone here. But I do get the chances to do that, so all is good. So now we're coming down straight again to the first corner, and that's one thing I did not do in this whole entire race, which I'm happy that I didn't do, which was actually go off on the first corner. At no point did I ever actually go off, which I'm happy about, because normally I tend to bugger up somewhere and go flying off into the crowd. Then, so yeah, probably not going to be my smoothest test, especially with that first bit. So because sometimes with the S's, sometimes I sort of like, I'll turn too early into one of them, or I'll turn a little bit late in one of them, so then I have to slow down a little bit, and it's just, I can never get it, you know, so I'm always like off at one place somewhere on the S section. Right, yeah, I do believe it's just spit rocks. I've just seen that the Italian driver did seem to go off somewhere a little bit, so I should be catching up with him now. There he is. So this will, so if I'm correct, this should be our 5th lap. So this will be our pitting lap. This is where we will pit in, change our tyres. So this is kind of the point where I didn't bother trying to push too hard to try and overtake the Italian, because I think at that point I did believe he was going to pit. I don't think he does. I think he does, because I think he may be running on harder tyres, or if he's running on medium tyres, he decides to try and push it for one more lap. But obviously at that point I was thinking that, you know, he's probably running on mediums and it's most likely going to pit, so it's like, I don't want to push too hard, because otherwise I may cause an accident and crash and bugger us both up. And due by the fact that he's going to pit, I'll probably come out not long after him anyway, so it's like, it gives me a chance again to catch up and overtake. But of course he doesn't do that, he carries on. So he kind of proves me a bit wrong there. Like, oh dear. But again, he does have to pit later on, so we may be able to overtake him there and then at that point. So we shall see. But again, you don't need to worry about refueling. You don't need refueling this race at all. Just change your tyres, bosh bosh bang, hey ho, everyone's happy. Right. So as I mentioned earlier about with incidents and analysing stuff and this and that and the other, the first incident that you'll see in the end segment is with this driver, with the Spanish driver. I can't remember exactly what his name is. It's Jaxel or something like that, I think his name is. I won't go into full detail on here. We'll be going into a bit more detail later on, and in the analysis segment. But I do have a little incident with him, which I do get a penalty, and I'm not entirely sure if, you know, sort of like, I get why I got the penalty, because he does go off, you know, because he does go off, but whether he actually needed to go off or not, I don't actually know. I'm not entirely sure. That's the reason I do the analysis bit at the end, to have a look, get my thoughts, and see if it was actually worthwhile him, you know, if he could have easily stayed on at this point here. So I overtake. Just give it a little rundown. You see he goes off there. I overtake on the inside. Now you'll see in the analysis segment later on that when it comes to the corner, I'm on the inside. He lightly taps me, and then he goes off. But I'm not 100% sure why. But the analysis segment is there, which I'll go through later on, obviously later on in the video. It's basically so you can see what my thought is, and you can, you know, put in the comments below what your thought is. But I'll leave that a bit of detail for my thoughts on that, and you'll hear my thoughts later on. So now back onto here, and we take second. Nice little overtake there, nice cutting, I think, and take second place. Now there was I can't remember which corner it was. I think it's here. Unfortunately, I do take it a little bit tight on the inside, and unfortunately, I do occur myself another half a second penalty. So currently, at the moment, my penalty at the moment is 2.5 seconds. Which it could be worse, but it could be better by me not having it. But well, what can I do? So now we come to this corner, and suddenly, boom! Another driver just goes flying off. Now initially I thought he was pissed because I overtook him when he was coming out the pit lane. So he tried to ram me off at that point. But going back through the replay, it turns out that he unfortunately clipped the grass on the straight bit just before that corner, and it sort of kind of basically made his car suddenly turn right, and he just had nowhere else to go but across the grass, unfortunately. So lucky enough, he didn't hit me at that point, which I don't think is so. And obviously he wasn't looking to hit me. But at that point, I just saw him suddenly go off, and I was like, "What the hell is he doing?" But looking back through it, he had a bit of an incident, and unfortunately, had nowhere else to go but across the grass. So I've just served my penalty, and now back down to 4th. So you know, I've lost a couple of positions, but all in all, still doing well. All in all with this, still doing well, still going strong. So I know we are on lap 7. So now we are now going to be going on to lap 8, and let's see if we can catch up with second and third place, and let's see if we can overtake. They're coming in the first corner, back round we go. I don't know what the exact racing line for that corner is. I may be wrong on that racing line there, but still, I don't think it was a bad corner. You know, didn't go off, didn't go too wide. La la la. Probably could do it, maybe possibly a little bit faster, maybe. But all in all, not a bad corner. Not a bad S section. And now coming up to around the left hand. Now to here, and go a bit wide, unfortunately. But again, lucky enough, don't spin out. But do unfortunately go a bit wide. It's now at this point is where my tyres are starting to get a little bit worn. So you know, it's going to start to understeer. The car's going to start to understeer a little bit. I may have to brake a little tiny bit earlier in certain corners, or may have to basically not go as fast in some corners. So I have to kind of adjust to that. So unfortunately, there will be points where we'll go a bit wide, and I think that's what, all in all, really, in the end, unfortunately, actually stops me from catching up with third. So the question is with the tyre damage now starting to set in, am I able to keep 4th, or do I lose out to 5th? So coming to follow through, nicely round, nice and tidy, nice and simple, and into the chicane. No going off, which is good, because sometimes I do bugger that one up and I go a little bit too off, and I have to go on the green, Astro, concretey, whatever you want to call it. I don't actually know what you call it, but the green shit. So I don't know if you could do this first corner flat out, like you can say with, I know, the Lara Super Formula, or if you do actually have to brake a little bit. But if you do brake, I normally tend to brake just a little bit around about the 50 meter board, just to slow down just a little bit to get into that corner, and then obviously slow down on the second part of that corner. Right, so we're coming through the S section again, and no going wide, I don't think this time. Nope. So again, no going wide. Coke Zero, anybody? And then coming again, do we go wide again? No, we do not. We stay on. Out under the bridge, coming up to the hairpin. Do I go wide here? It's all the question now about, do I go wide? You can see I am slowly catching up. You know, sort of kind of catching up, but I do think I am catching. I think I'm catching up with third, but losing time on fifth. It's kind of sort of like I'm making progress on one, but losing time on the other. you know, I can't get the balance right. It's always weird. It's annoying. But it looks like I go a little bit wide there, which I do think I go a little bit wide there, unfortunately. But I still managed to keep it on. So, no major disasters, no drama. So all good. So I think we are coming up to the last. We'll be coming up to the last lap soon. Through the follow through, and no going off, which is good. I think there you brake normally maybe around about 120. Because I think if you brake at the 100 meter board, you are braking a little bit late. I do think so. I think there you need to brake around about the 120 mark, roughly. Well, that's what I think anyway. It's about 120, something like that. So, last lap, we're on to the final lap. Can I either keep fourth and not lose it to fifth, or can I catch up with third and overtake? Which unfortunately, no, I don't. But again, do I manage to keep fourth? But by the looks of it, it does look like that fifth place isn't going to catch up, and so I pretty much got fourth in the back here. But do I go wrong anywhere? Do I go off anywhere? No question. So coming up to one of my places to go wide, and look at that. I go wide again. Oh, how lovely. So, unfortunately, going a bit wide there, do lose ground on third, so basically third place is gone. He's fucking gone. But also, fifth place does also gain ground. So let's have a look. It's coming up the hairpin onto the long right hand turn. And still keeping it on, not going too wide, keeping it close on to the inside. Coming up the spoons. Not bad spoons, not bad spoons. And through spoons alive, don't clip anything, don't go spin off like a motherfucker. Have no penalties to serve, so they're all good. So I've pretty much basically got fourth in the back here right here at this point. Through the follow through, round we go. Da da da. A little bit on the grass, but did not get a penalty, which is nice. Because I know sometimes the track boundaries on this game can be a bit harsh. So out of the final scheme into the last corner, and we bring it home in fourth place. Nope. Again, with the whole incident with the Spanish driver, you will see an analysis of that at the end of this video, where you'll hear my thoughts on it, and you can also then let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. But just to give you a simple synopsis, is that at the end of it, I do believe that, you know, it was nothing negative, it was nothing bad, it was just unfortunate situation. So right, on to the final race, or race B at Tokyo. Alright, here we are at Tokyo, in the last race of the video. And you can see I qualified in 7th place. So I did quite well in qualifying this week as well, apart from obviously race A. But race B and race C I qualified quite well as well. Because normally my qualifying is normally a bit rubbish, to be honest with you. But see, this week race B is the video where you get all information, positions, laps, map, my speed. You get all the information that you would want, and see how I do. See where I'm braking, where I'm accelerating. See that I'm doing this race with no traction control. Got no traction control on. I'm still using automatic at the moment, but that's just because myself I feel more comfortable in automatic at the moment. And so we'll just see how we do. So this is one of those, isn't it? It's one of those races where it's a more faster paced race, because there's a lot of the corners you can get around quite quickly. There's a lot of straights. There's a lot of like high speed corners on this track. But the question is, how many people at the end of this race, by the end of this race, got penalties? I know, because they're hitting the wall like that. Myself, I only got one penalty during this whole race, and that wasn't it. As you can see, somebody had already served a penalty, and we climbed up to 6. And you can see, 6 behind a German. We are behind a German who's in the Alpha 4C. That seems to be one of the cars to go to for this track. I think all the top 10 times, or the last time I checked, all the top 10 times, they were all, well, fastest qualifying times anyway, they were all set in the Alpha 4C. Myself, I'm using the Hurricane, which I think is also not actually a bad car to use this on this track. So, coming now into the second lap. Do I manage to overtake the German? I get on the inside line, take over 6, and I keep 5th place. I think there was a little bump from the German, but nothing bad. So again, it's no harm, no foul. So I managed to climb myself a position in a what I think is a fair enough overtake. So can I gain any more? That's the question. Can I gain any more positions? I'm currently on lap 2. 4 more laps to go. Let's see. And thanks to that Spanish guy having a penalty, there you go, now in 4th. So managed to climb 2 positions. So now I've got to try and catch up with the Italian, who incidentally will play another part of something happening on later on in this race, on the last lap. But I'll point that when we get there. So at the moment, just trying to catch up with the people ahead, because I think they're, I think at this point they're a couple of seconds ahead. So just trying to catch up. So far, still no major bad incidents or major bad cases of me smashing into the wall and thinking, let's add a bit of paint to that wall. It's looking a bit grey. So you can see, first, second, and third all in a bit of a group now. I think at the moment I am slowly gaining on the group. Now Tokyo Expressway, especially like the central outer loop, for me it's one of the tracks that I feel more. It feels like I'm more stronger on than some other tracks. There's some tracks I don't feel very strong on. This is one of the tracks that I feel. Those again, I may not be the fastest round the track. I do feel like I am stronger on this track than, say, some other tracks. And you can see that I am gaining. I'm literally probably like, what, about half a second behind third place now, maybe 6 tenths behind. But so again, since I don't have to worry about anyone behind me, I can just concentrate on catching up. Which is nice when you don't have anyone behind you, because you can just concentrate on going forwards and catching up with anyone who's in front of you, which is nice. So coming into the 4th lap. First of all, looks like we may have lost a bit of ground, maybe, or maybe around that saying. It's kind of hard to tell because it doesn't give you the times on the replay for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why it doesn't give you the times. But obviously the Spanish guy, he did make a mistake somewhere. I'm going to guess he may have scraped the wall somewhere, because you can see I'm pretty much right behind him now. Pretty much right behind him, getting into his slippy stream, and then just trying to pick the right point to try and overtake. Unfortunately it wasn't there. So still behind, and now's the time to overtake because he got a penalty. So there you go, fuck it. I'll overtake now, and now we are up in the 3rd. So now can I catch up with the Italian? Now I am stuck in 3rd for the vast majority of the race now. I am stuck in 3rd. But it's a question of, can I catch up? Because as you heard me say, I said vast majority of the rest of the race. So obviously something happens. Question is, what happens? And so lap 3 was my fast. I think was my fast lap throughout the whole race, which See, that lap wasn't very good. That was a bit slower. That was in 120. Whereas my fastest lap was a 119.800 exactly. But my qualifying, oddly enough, I think my qualifying is a 118.1. I think my qualifying time. 30 on this occasion. My qualifying time was actually a hell of a lot better than my actual race time. Bit unusual for me, it is anyway. Because normally I tend to do better in the race than I do in the qualifying. But you see, there's a nice comfortable gap between me and fourth, and you can see now the Italian has overtaken the Frenchman. But we still need to keep an eye on that Italian. Still need to keep an eye on him. Coming up to the last sort of sector now, and halfway through the last sector. This corner is one corner where sometimes I seem to get it. I think I get it quite well, and other times I do get it a bit off. Same with this last corner. Sometimes I seem to get quite well, and sometimes I get it a little bit off, and it's just like. But that time again, a 120, a little bit faster than lap 4, but. So I seem to be holding off. I don't know why. Sometimes I don't seem to be getting my foot down as well. But we're on the last lap. And going through the tunnel. In tunnel we go. Carry on. You can see I think I'm sort of slowly gaining. The Italian has now been overtaken by the Frenchman. Now, it's unfortunate at this point where I have to make an overtake. You don't get to see it you get to see it over there. Unfortunately, I do slightly hit the Frenchman. But unfortunately at this point I do occur a penalty. I do occur a 3-second penalty, I think. I think it's 3 seconds. Which unfortunately, you know, it's kind of risk versus reward there. And I do slightly scrape the Frenchman, but I don't believe that's the reason why I got the penalty. The reason why I believe I got the penalty is because of me scraping the wall. That's the reason why I believe I got the penalty there. But the question is, why did I try and do that? Why did I overdo that take? It's a bit hard to see in that replay there. But for some reason, the Italian driver slowed down. Which at that point, I had no idea why he slowed down. But we will go through that in the analysis of that, because this is the second analysis that I end up doing, and I'm going to be doing in this video, and we will get to that. But first we will look at the analysis of the Suzuka race and the Spanish car. Alright, so this is the first extra clip I want to show you, because earlier on I mentioned in my Suzuka race on that part of the video about the whole incident I had with this Spanish driver, into why, you know, I got penalty, but was I deserving of that penalty? Now I'm not saying that I didn't deserve it. I'm not so sure, but I'm watching it from this perspective. But you know, at that point I did believe that I didn't hit him. I know he hit me. I know I didn't actually run into him. But I want to see if, basically, it's sort of like if him hitting me actually caused him to go off, or did he do it out of spite? Because I do have to be aware that his tires at this point are worse than mine, because I only just recently pitted in, so you know, I'm on fresh new tires. His tires are kind of quite worn. So I don't know if he did it out of spite or if it's because he got thrown off. I'm not totally sure, but this is what this thing is. And then I'm going to give what I think, if I did deserve that penalty, or if I think that he's basically trying to fuck me over, basically. So let's start it. There you can see he's coming in. There's me behind him. I'm going to be coming on the inside. Now he tapped into me. Now he did try and slow down there, but I don't know what happened. So let's have a look on the bottom of the screen here. So you can see his front tyres are quite warm. He's got traction control on and steering assist, that's why he's a bit jumpy. So, looking at that, I don't know, because myself, I do believe that he could have easily enough kept the car on track. Now, maybe it may just took him a little bit by surprise about me taking him on the inside here. Because he does suddenly, you know, because he does suddenly turn to the left and then hits me and then sort of goes to the right. So maybe it is possibly that I should not have taken the pass there, but you know, it's an opportunity. I saw an opportunity. I'm going to take it on the basis of, because I knew by the way he was driving that I would have eventually taken over him. Now, yes, I know some people were thinking, well, I should have maybe have waited until I got out spoons onto the straight to overtake him. Which is a fair point, which, looking back at it now, maybe that's what I should have done. Is that I should have waited until we exited spoons. But myself personally, I don't think he intentionally went off out of spite, out from one, you know, one theory of idea for earlier. But I do believe that he could have easily enough kept it on the track. But whether he went out intentionally, I don't think he went out intentionally. Personally, I think he just got a bit spooked, kind of thing. You know, because maybe he doesn't have his radar on, so he can't tell exactly where I am. And then all of a sudden, I'm charging. You know, I'm coming through on the inside. So yes, I had right of way, because I was on the inside. I was in basically an overtaking position. I was basically at the faster car at that point. But I think due to him being sort of like spooked by it, by me suddenly just coming through, I think he sort of like, and plus he's got the sort of like, I don't know what it's called, the counter steering, basically the one that sort of helps you keep control of the car, steering in the corners. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's counter steering assistance or something like that. And I think that may have played a little bit of part. So because you can see when he's doing the corners, his car's sort of like very jerky. It's not fluid. It's very jerky. So whereas I don't think I was in the wrong to take the inside line to pass him, but at the same time, I don't think he intentionally went out. I think it just, one, partially spooked him with me suddenly coming on the inside, and two, was that the counter steering sort of altered his course a little bit from when he made the jump from lightly tapping me, because he didn't hit me hard enough for him to go all out of control. That's the thing, because it was only the lightest tap. So I don't think he's in the wrong, but neither do I think that I'm in the wrong. But unfortunately, due to him basically not being able to control his car because of either being spooked or because of the counter steering assistance, unfortunately he went off. That's my fault. Now, I'm not saying that I am right and my opinion is right and everyone else's opinion is wrong. You know, if you think I was in the wrong, you know, let me know in the comments below. But also, I will understand why you say I was thinking that I may have been wrong in that situation, and that I should have waited until we exited spoons. Which, personally myself, now looking back on that, I believe that that's what I should have done. So my execution of it was wrong. My theory of basically making the pass was not wrong, but my execution was not the best execution, because I should have probably waited until I got out of spoons. But at that time in the race, as you can see, the German guy is not that far behind me, and I wanted to try and make ground on him because I know he just only pitted himself, so I knew that he was also on fresh tyres, so I needed to make up whatever ground I could, whilst also not, you know, being an asshole to other drivers. But again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Was I right to make the overtake then? Or should I have done what I've just said about waiting until I exited spoons? Or do you think that he could have easily kept the car on the track to then not allow me to get the penalty? There's one more clip to go, and I will be up in a moment. Alright, here's the other clip that I mentioned earlier on in the video as well, about the Tokyo Expressway race, into where I did get a penalty on the last lap, unfortunately after the penalty serving area, which was a bit of a bitch. But it's a penalty that I understand why I got it, because looking back through it, unfortunately when I passed the Audi, I slightly clipped the Audi, but I don't think it was me clipping the Audi slightly a little bit was what caused me to get a penalty. I think it was me scraping the wall. It may have been a bit of both. Maybe the game may have sort of registered a bit of both and gave me a penalty on that. Now, though I don't believe that this guy here who's on screen now is the direct reason, obviously he's not the direct reason why I got the penalty, because, yeah. But what I'm confused about is why he slowed down. Because you'll see that I'm a little bit behind him. I mean, I'm not like massively far behind him. I'm not like extremely close to him either, sort of thing. But you'll see that he slows down, and I don't know why he suddenly slows down. So, thanks to him, thanks to far TFP slowing down, I kind of had to make a decision on whether to either slow down myself, but potentially allow like at least one or two other cars that are behind me to also catch up, which then, with like 4 or 5 of us all bunched up together in the last few corners, the last like half the track, could be a bit risky for basically messing up with a few other people up. So I took an opportunity. I saw an opportunity to do something, and though unfortunately it failed, and basically because I got a penalty, unfortunately. But it's that kind of like risk versus reward. It's to take the risk of doing the pass that I did, which understandably, some people would be like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I understand why people would say maybe I shouldn't have done what I did. But at that kind of point, I kind of almost felt like I had no choice, because it was either slow down and allow other people behind me to catch up, then causing a lot of hassle in the last half of the race, or last half of this lap anyway, the last lap, or attempt to make the pass. But if far TFP did not slow down and he carried on, then he would have taken pole position and had first, and I would have got second. But I don't know why he slowed down. Now I want to see if there's a reason why he could have slowed down, or if there's a reason why you think he slowed down. So we're going to start it. So you can see that I'm there. I'm pretty about there. And then, okay, so now it's all clear as to why he slowed down. So just in case you missed it, because it didn't start in the best place. Actually, just go back in. So, because it happened very quickly, because I was always looking behind me. So, on this occasion, I won't be looking behind. So, but now I know why he slowed down. He wasn't intentional. It was the game. It was a game glitch. That was the problem. So you can see he's not very smooth there. He's come around behind the Audi. Audi's about to serve his penalty. And though the Audi is ghosted, now at this point I tried to make a pass, and unfortunately, as you can see there was a bit of a squeeze. So let's just move up to me, and we'll go back. So now I can see why he slowed down. It wasn't because he slowed down. He didn't slow down for a reason, and for a particular reason. He slowed down because the game buggered up. The game buggered up on him. So now I can see why he slowed down. Because I've only watched this very briefly before. I haven't like analysed it like this. So now I know why. Because the game fucked up. So basically, the game stopped him from actually being able to get first. Now, he could have went round, but obviously when you think that someone's ghosting, you think you're going to go straight through them. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So you can see, as you can see now on my chase cam. But you can see at this point, to me, he suddenly swerves to the left and slows down. I see a chance to possibly overtake, and unfortunately, I just scraped the wall. And you see it there, unfortunately I just scraped the wall. If I didn't scrape that wall, then I would have, then for me that probably would have been one of the best steals from me, at least anyway, in the whole time I've ever played this game. It would have been a completely, I reckon it would have been an amazing steal in the ways of the overtake. But unfortunately I just misjudged it, and unfortunately scraped the wall and got myself a penalty, which then that did drop me down to 4th. But I'm still not going to complain. You know, I finished 4th overall, and you know, I started in 7th, so you know, I still raised some positions, so you know, it's not the end of the world. So now I can see that unfortunately on that occasion the game buggered up, which buggered up the Italian from being able to overtake. So maybe the best thing to do when someone ghosts is to not actually try and drive through them, and literally is just overtake them. Overtake them by going around them instead of actually going through them, because I've had that happen before with me, where people have ghosted, and it seems to be like the imagery of the ghost, the graphic of the ghosting seems to come first, and then the collision detection goes after. So it's like for like a half a second, even though they're a ghost, you can still collide with them. So maybe these Polyphony need to sort of like try and work that out and work out why that can still happen. Whether it is something to do with the actual programming of the ghost, or if it's something to do with the online servers, or whatever it is. But now that I know, now that I've analysed that, I found out why. It's just it's, you know, it was just unfortunate luck for the Italian that the ghosting didn't work on the French driver. And as for me, the overtake was pretty good, and I think I had the right to overtake there as well. It's just unfortunately it was risk versus reward to try and get the reward for first place, but unfortunately the risk was to potentially to get a penalty, and in which unfortunately I did. But at least the main thing is, for that kind of overtake, I know it may seem a bit reckless to some people. Myself, I don't see it as reckless, I see it as ballsy for me, because normally I don't tend to do that kind of thing, to be honest. So for me it was kind of a ballsy overtake, but unfortunately I just did not manage to execute it just well enough, and unfortunately I ended up with a penalty. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Should I have tried to do the overtake then, or should I have slowed down? Or did I have the right to at least attempt the overtake? But obviously if you don't agree with me into the ways of saying that I think I had the right to try and do the overtake, or at least to attempt the overtake, and you think that I didn't, or think that I shouldn't have, then you know, I'm not going to say that you're wrong. Because it's like, you know, people have different opinions about this thing. But that's it for this video. And this is it for these two pieces of analytical videos. So I will see you at the end screen. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and next time I'll see you at the finishing line.